actually facts, right? The whole analysis paralysis thing. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot of information hits the mind all at once, because obviously you're trying to get these answers, right? You're trying to see in front of you, you're trying to get in front of you what the problem is so that you can face it. And that sounds healthy. That sounds like a healthy move to make. But now at the same time, after identifying okay, what the problem is, okay, what am I looking at? You know what I'm saying? Now you want that thing to chill there in front of you. You still wanna, okay, identify its ears. Is that a head? Okay, no. Those muscles, does this thing have muscles? What is that? Like, nah, bro, like, we're not trying to fucking be on a date with this thing, you know what I'm saying? Analyze the out of it, you know what I'm saying? AKA being therapy for like 10 years, nothing still happens. That's because you're still just staring at the problem, you know what I'm saying? You still just, sometimes these solutions, they require of you to look at something different so that we can be able to train the mind to go away from this from time to time. But then, yes, the mind can be away from it. But since, you know, the clip has shared that these traumas, they produce sensations in the body, right? So now, when that whole traumatic thing becomes a sensation in the body, we can now have, you know, physical solutions. That's where you go to therapy for. Like, yo, you know. But then these solutions, check it out. For example, a solution may need you to go back to, aka your family, to go address some things. You don't want to do that because of some things that need to be addressed first before that can happen. You know what I'm saying? So being strategic in how you attack you know, psychology that's been so damaged that it doesn't want you to move on. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, I wouldn't even know how to put this. We address that monster that we got our attention on, whilst, you know what I'm saying, going to towards another direction that would leave us free, right? So it's a balancing act, if you ask me. It's really a balancing act, if you ask me. You feel what I'm saying? But then now the thing is, with this constant therapy, with this generation that believes in constant therapizing yourself, you know what I'm saying? That's just creating that comfortable little corner that you go to cuddle yourself every time, just to remind yourself and re-traumatize yourself, because you're putting your focus again on this monster. You know what I'm saying? Trying to analyze, wait, does he have a big dick? Look, wait. Is that nigga short? Is he like, what's up, bro? Like, leave that nigga alone, bro. You've already identified. That's the fucking monster. You know what I'm saying? Now, what are we doing to get rid of the monster? We're not trying to get this monster just in front of our face the whole time. Now, I'm saying all of this to be like, that's the mind's way, or that's your being's, like, as in your human reality type of being, type of form. That's its version of wanting to be something beyond what it already is, right? So obviously, being something, like being at a more advanced or a different position than where you are, the mind finds itself wanting to do that all the time. That's why you have phases of life. You go from this phase to that phase, because you want to experience something different naturally. That's how naturally things go. But the fact that the mind is still stuck on the past, the traumas of the past, aka re-traumatizing itself with the past, you know what I'm saying, that ends up becoming something that somebody just clings on to. And then now the body will respond negatively, because it wants to grow naturally. The natural part of you that wants to grow and just move beyond past things, you know, it needs to move on. But your mind is clinging, like those subconscious patternings and developments of your mind is just clinging on to some shit that it doesn't need to cling on to. And that's where that, you know, that's where the conflict of the soul is. Like, you know, for lack of a better term, I'll just say it's the conflict of the soul. You feel what I'm saying? But then, you know, like the active steps of allowing yourself to be more than what you are, while at the same time detaching, right? Because it's a whole game of whether you detach or not to the past. But now this is what I wanted to just bring up again. Attaching to something has emotionality linked with it, right? So attachment to something has emotion to it. You love it. what I'm saying? You like how it made you feel. You don't want to get rid of it, aka family members, aka a version of you that you were in high school, in college, and whatever. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get rid of that. Like, it emotionally, made you feel secure. In whatever some other reason, you felt secure in that. But look at this. It's what you have to detach to become something more, something beyond what you are right now. And you're not realizing that your natural state wants to do this, but I don't know, your subconscious mind is still latched to, bro, but that felt better. Why do we want to move on? It's like, nah, bro, you have to. You feel what I'm saying? And that emotion, that's where the emotion was stuck on the ways of the past. The emotion was stuck on how good this shit felt. Address the emotional attachment, bruh. Sometimes the emotional attachments are like super freaking just intense, dog. Emotional attachments are intense. Once you emotionally detach to your environment, that's where you have situations where you can have a lot of people in the room, but you still feel alone. It's a very important aspect to your being. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, sometimes this detachment thing is not even just disconnect your emotion to something. It's like, find another way to attach to that memory, right? So your family members, blah blah blah, they were at a certain point all that you needed, and that made you feel secure, because emotionally that was amazing too. But you're grown now. You know what I'm saying? People is passing on now. People is getting sick. People, you know what I'm saying? And you're all the way far over there, like trying to establish your own independence. You know what I'm saying? But that's a natural thing that's supposed to happen, bro. That's why you get realities like create your own family where you're at, so that you can attach there. Leave, not leave the emotional attachment from your previous family, the family that created you, but have a different way to connect there. You know what I'm saying? It's okay for shit to fall away. If you're that attached to that shit, create your own family so that you can establish those attachments anew, bruh. That's all that needs to happen. That's the evolution, right? Instead of being traumatized by the fact that, dog, I had to separate with the people that loved me so much. Like, nah, bruh, I can't believe life had to force me to decide this. Nah, aka that's you keeping your attention on that entity that you're supposed to keep get your attention off of. I don't know if this was a handful. I don't know if y'all understood that shit, but I feel like that's why this generation, bro, Gen Z, that is, they don't seem to have a grip on their own direction in life, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Another thing was gonna be this whole thing of just like wanting to grow up way too fast. You know what I'm saying? Especially now in a time where we can compare ourselves with like our peers. Oh shit, my peer is there. Shit, I gotta be there by XYZ time. Like, or you don't have to. But all that information is in your face, like intensely, overwhelmingly. You know what I'm saying? So obviously it's gonna be hard for you to make your own decision.